Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you for being here, and we are taking up this event and as you know, it's about 15 days long. I'm Alicia Shaw, DSC lead of TIB, and thank you for committing to this event as commitment and consistency are the two key factors which will help you to build up the project and take away uh, something from this year at least. So I have Siddharth Eddy as a speaker. He will help you throughout this session, and we will cover each topic each day for 1 hour. And let's get started without wasting any time. And he also will guide you and share resources with you. So we will stay committed to you, and we are expecting the same. Thank you so much, Siddharth. Hello, Neha. Can you verify if my voice is audible? Okay, so maybe something went wrong due to network connection. Now, I would like Siddharth to continue with this session and all the best. Over to you.
Okay, so my name is Siddhartha Addi, third year student from TIB, Techno International Batanavan, and I'll be taking your session on this ML ticket. So let's get going. Okay, so first things first, that I would like you to code along with me because I will be doing a live coding, and you will be looking at all the things that I am doing, all the mistakes I am doing, and even mistakes that I am doing, how I am going to solve those mistakes. There are some of the mistakes that I'll be doing deliberately to teach you things that you will be learning through your programming. But to be honest, if we look at the greater picture, I would say that there is not much of a code in this machine learning tutorial. The most important thing is that the basic understanding of the thing. As we go, you will understand that how code is not the factor that you should be very concerned about. The factor that only factor that you should be concerned about is your idea of fixing those bugs or learning
Hello, Siddharth. Can you hear me? I think there's a glitch. Okay, let's wait for 1 minute.
hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, okay,
Continue.
sorry, there was a network issue. Okay, so let me just present my screen and start right away. Okay, hope, okay. So you guys can see my screen, right? Um,
Yep.
okay. So another thing that I want to specify, that since it's a live thing, I would all like all of you to say things. If you have any doubt, just hop right in, okay? Because the main purpose of having a live session is you can clear your doubts right away. Okay, so first things first, I will be personally coding in Google Colab. Okay, so for those of you who don't know about Google Colab, it's a initiative by Google only, and Google Colab comes with all the libraries installed, pre-installed. So all you need is a good internet connection. Okay, that's all. You have to install nothing. No Python is required. No kind of libraries you need to download and install and stuff. Nothing. You just need to open up your Google Colab and start coding. Okay, so I'll be doing my entire session on Google Colab. For some of you who might have done a little bit of Python, they may argue that it is better to code in Jupyter Notebook, but Google Colab is way more handy, to be honest. And as we go, you will understand that why it is more handy. Since today is the first day, though, that's why I am not expecting you guys to open up this profile, but since tomorrow I would like you to code along with me, because there is not much of a code. Some days we will have a little bit more code, but to be honest, there is not much of a code. So if you code along with me, you will learn easily. Okay, so before talking about anything else, even talking about anything else, let me just do a thing. I'll explain what I'm doing right now. Okay, this will take a little bit of time. So what I am doing right now is uploading my dataset to the Google session. So it's a small dataset, but still it needs a little bit of time to upload. This is the only problem with Google Colab, to be honest. You have to upload your file every time you start working. And this is not the case with Jupyter Notebook and all. So I think it's completed. Okay, yeah, it's completed. Let me just write a few lines and then I'll explain what I'm doing. It will work. Okay. Okay. So we are now ready. Let me just zoom in so that you guys can see a little bit clearer. Okay. Google Colab, in Google Colab, we need to always, when we are working in Google Colab, we need to upload our CSV file to the Google Colab, because it's important, and this is one of the only drawbacks of Google Colab, I would say. But there are three ways to particularly draw your CSV file. One is that I am doing, that is uploading the files. Another one is connecting to your drive and then uploading the file. And there is another way, but it is not very famous, so I'm not going to talk about it. So what I'm doing right now, as I said, Jay, you need no prior knowledge of machine learning. I will be teaching you everything from the very scratch. So let me just start with the first line of code. That is import pandas.pd. Okay, pandas is a library of Python library that is highly used during machine learning sessions. Yeah. Okay, so pandas is a Python library that is highly used in the machine learning cases and all. And only thing that we are doing, that PD, we are importing the pandas library as PD, and we are calling a method or function which is known as read CSV. So read CSV, as the name suggests, it reads the CSV file. Okay, I would like you to do this particular stuff because it's in Google Colab, and Google Colab likes this kind of this coding, particular coding. Why I'm doing this, I will be there in a minute. But let's start with the first thing first, that what we are actually doing. So let me just tell you a little bit about what we are doing right now. So we are doing a machine learning project. Now, what do you mean by machine learning project? Do you remember that when you were when you were a child and somebody placed an apple in front of you and said, "Jay, look at it. This is an apple, and A for apple." And that's how you started learning all the alphabets. You saw some things and you related that thing to an alphabet. That's how you started learning. That's how everybody in this world starts learning. So uh, on the very nursery, we started learning about alphabets, then numericals, then words and sentences. So in case of machines, it is also the case that we have to show them something, then it can learn from it. And this very concept of learning by the machines is known as machine learning. Okay, as you may have known that machine learning and artificial intelligence, and these are the some fancy terms that are used nowadays. Okay, so let me first tell you about a little bit about this thing, then we will start moving on into our project. So machine learning, AI or artificial intelligence, is a superset of machine learning, I would say. If you get very good at machine learning, then you can move on to artificial intelligence. Deep learning is a part of machine learning, which I will be talking about in a while. Okay, so let me just start with what is the project that we are doing. So the project we are doing here is a California housing census project, prediction project. What we have to do is to predict the final house value. So there are some parameters that we'll be providing to you, like square feet, population, and many more things, and you have to predict the value of that particular house. That's all. That's the That's the that's our project. Okay, so that's sounds simple. Okay, that's really sounds simple, but when we start with the project, it's not that simple. Okay, so this is a very good, or I would say a standard machine learning problem. So in this project, I'll be role playing as your boss and an employee at the same time, so that you can understand that what questions that you need to ask your supervisors, so that you can build a good model. Okay, so you for now you know that you need to make some kind of predictions about a house value. Okay, now you come to your boss and ask and you ask him, Jay, okay, I need to do some predictions and all. That's okay, but tell me, Jay, what is the benefit that the company is going to earn from it? So boss tells you, okay, your prediction will be directly proportional or will be directly related to the company's revenue. So from this you can understand this is a very critical project. Okay, now you have to start questioning about some of the stuffs about the project, some of the specifications about the specifications about the project. So what are the things that you should be asking your boss? First, Jay, what is the current existing solution to this project? Every project, since you are doing this a project in machine learning, there should be a current existing solution to this project that is the company is relying on right now. So here your boss tells you, Jay, there is a group of men who do these things, and they make some complex calculations, mathematical calculations, and pull up some statistics and all, and they make a prediction. You want to say something?
No, sorry.
Okay, okay, no, no, it's okay. So they tell you, Jay, there is a group of people and they are very experts in this sector, and they make some complex calculations to predict this final value. And but they yeah the but the company has to pay them more. It's time consuming, and the error rate is also very high, about 15% error rate. So you get a clear, now your picture is getting clearer and clearer. So you understand that since they are taking up a lot of money, they are taking up a lot of time, their error percentage is very high, then you should be keeping these things in mind. So you cannot cannot take up many people to in these projects. You cannot take up much very good amount of time or make a very high error percentage. So these are the things that becomes clear to you. Next, what are the questions that you should ask your boss? Now we should get down to some of the um, questions, some project related questions. First question that you should ask your boss, or your to yourself or your team, that is whether it's a supervised learning or a unsupervised learning or a reinforcement learning. Now you people are like, oh my god, what are these terms? Supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement. Oh my, I have never heard these terms. Yeah, you have never heard these terms. But let me tell you what are these terms. These are the some of the fancy ways or fancy terms of machine learning. I would like you to carry a notepad, just write down these terms, okay, so that you can remember these terms, okay? Because as we go, we will be learning many terms. Okay, so what are these terms? Supervised learning. What do you mean by supervised learning? What do you mean by the word supervised? Supervised means labeled. Okay, labeled data learning is known as supervised learning. What is a labeled data? Suppose you are given a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're just given a number. Nothing is said, nothing is so the number that is given to you is unlabeled. It is not known to you the what is what is the label to that number? The number has some value, right? But the value is of what thing? What is it is representing? What number, what category it is representing? You have no idea, because nothing is said. So this kind of numbers are not labeled. But suppose I give you 10 numbers, 10 random numbers, 10 random two-digit number, and tell you that these are the price uh, of Cadbury. Okay, these are the prices of Cadbury. So you have an idea. Okay, so I have 10 numbers, and these are the actual prices of the Cadbury. So you know what you are looking at. So this type of data is known as labeled data. Now, the boss tells you, no, 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 it's completely fine. You are given a labeled data. So you understand, yeah, okay, then I have to do supervised learning. Now you will notice that I have not spoken about reinforcement learning, because reinforcement learning is a quite complicated stuff, and as we go, we will learn about reinforcement learning. I don't want to dump everything on you right now, because it will be a little hard for you guys. So just understand the difference between supervised and unsupervised. Supervised learning, the data is labeled, that you know that what you are looking at, and unsupervised, the data is not labeled. Okay, that's all. We are reinforcement learning, we will be talking about it after some time. Next question that you should ask yourself, Jay, uh, what is this problem? You ask your boss, "Jay, what is this problem? Is this a regression problem or a classification problem?" Now, uh, can anyone tell me what do you mean by a regression? Just define the term regression or classification. Just make a random guess. Just drop it in the chat. I would like to look at some of those responses. Regression. I'm just writing them in. Statistical methods. Okay, that's a very fancy term. In a very simple way, what is a regression? It's a statistical method. That's correct. What do you mean by regression? I don't want you to define it in a statistical method. Just define it in a very layman's term. Anyone? Regression. Just make a random guess. You don't even have to be correct or something about it. Okay. So just let me tell you this thing. Continuous data regression means the data is continuous in nature. Okay, there's no categories. There are no categories to that data. If the data is continuous in nature, like a number is a number. It's continuous. If the data is continuous, then we call it a regression. Okay, classification is the complete opposite of regression. Classification is like classification of data into categories. If we look at like what how do I say, high price, low price, medium price. This is a classification. Okay, the product is high priced, the product is low priced, and the product is medium priced. There is a range to the classification there. What is the range of the high price? But you don't you may ask, what is the range of the high price? Okay, but we are not concerned about it, because the thing is, you only need to know you only wanted to know it is a high priced or low priced. Yes, that's all. Then it's a classification. So the bottom line is, if you want to predict a number, make it very simple, very, very simple. If you want to predict a number, then it's a regression problem, mostly. But if you want to predict a category, or some categorical values, we will be learning about what is categorical values in very deeply, in a very depth as we go. If we want to predict some kind of category, then it's a classification problem. So regression problem is one where the data is continuous. Classification problem is one where the data is in the categories. Okay, that's the definition. So you ask your boss, Jay, is it a regression problem or a classification problem? So your boss answers you, no, 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 it's a regression problem. You have to predict a number. You have to predict a price. So that's clear. Now the whole picture of the project is clear in your head. So let me just uh, let me just say if all the take all those things together and tell you what is the picture. So what did you learn from everything? That you cannot take more people into this project. You cannot take too much time in this project. You cannot make an error rate, you cannot make too high an error rate. This is a regression problem, and this is supervised learning. That's all. Now now you are done with your boss. Now you have to move on to your own work. Now, can any one of you tell me the difference between a multivariate regression and univariate regression? Let me write it down for you in the chat. Just make a random guess. What do you mean by a multivariate regression and univariate regression? Don't shy off, because the point of the live session is so that we can interact. Okay, otherwise I could have just recorded these videos and sent this upload this on YouTube, and you guys could see this there only. The point of having a live coding session is so that we can make mistakes together. Any idea what is a multivariate regression and what is a univariate regression? If you want, you can speak up also. Different direction and only one direction. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So let me just continue. Multivariate, Muskan Kumari, you are almost right, but I don't think directions is the right adjective for it. I would say features or variables. Okay. If there are multiple variables, if there are more than one variables, and to that more than one variables, then it's a multivariate regression problem. If you have only one variable, then it's a univariate regression problem. Let me give you an example so that it will make you we will have a clear understanding. Let us assume you are given a data set, and the data set contains two columns. One column is named as square foot, another column is named as price. Okay, so you have to predict the price. So you can only predict the price based on only one column, that is square foot. So you have only one variable or one feature to predict the price. This kind of problem are known as univariate problem. Now, if you have more than one features uh, like longitude, latitude, income, population, consider these four as your variables, and along with that price. Now you have to predict the price. Now you have four features instead of one. Now it's a multivariate regression problem. So when you are looking at the data set, you see J, it's a multivariate regression problem, but we have not looked into the data set, right? So let's start looking at the data set. So how do we look at the dataset? So our entire dataset is now in this variable house. Okay, entire dataset is in this particular variable housing. So how do we look into the dataset? We can just say housing and just print it. It's not, it's a messy right now. Okay, it's too much values, so I don't want all these values. I can just look at the first five data. If you want to look at the first five data, then you can just have to write housing.head. Head pulls up the first five data. Okay, okay. Here we go. We have the first five data: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Zero indexing is allowed here. Okay. Okay, now you have the first look at the dataset. This is the first look at the dataset. So let us just explore the dataset and then just look at the dataset and understand what are the things that we have got. Okay, so we have got longitude, latitude. We are familiar with this. I hope that you people are familiar with this. Housing median age and age, simply in simple ways, age, total room, okay, total bedrooms, okay, population, okay, households, okay, median income, okay, median house value, okay, and ocean proximity, okay. So you are given the data set. Now you ask your boss, Acha, out of all these things, all these columns, which is the column that I need to predict? So your boss tells you that this median house value, this is the thing that I want. I want to predict this. That's all. I will be giving you all other columns as the input, and I want this column as output. This is your task. Now you have an complete idea about what you are going to do. Before even starting any kind of project, it is very important so that you have a very clear understanding that what is the final output that is going to generate. If you don't have that idea, then and you randomly start your project, then you will face problems as you go. Okay, now let us start with the first thing. As we know that the first session is only introduction to machine learning and exploring the dataset a little bit. So let us just start and exploring the dataset a little bit. Okay, not something great and all. We'll be doing some light stuff. Okay, so let's start. Okay, the first thing that I would like you to do is housing. I'm gonna take. I am storing the entire dataset in housing. Okay, so whatever, if you name it something else, you can name it. There is no problem with it. So first thing that you should be looking at that housing dot shape. Okay, what is this shape? Okay, we have got a number. We have got a number like 20,640 comma 10. Okay, what is this number? What is this? It tells us. So 20,640 is the number of rows and 10 is the number of columns. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 columns, and the number of rows are 20,640. It means that we have 20,640 data points. It is in respect to machine learning or artificial intelligence, it is a very small data set that we are using. Okay, by the way, I'll be providing you all the data set and the code. Okay, so don't worry, don't start writing this code on your copy. Okay, that's not a way to learn things. Okay, so you for this is the first exploration of our data set, the CJ housing dot shape. So we have 20,640 rows and 10 columns. Okay, now we have a clear idea. Okay, what is going on and if you people have any kind of questions, please ask. There is no I would be happy to answer those questions. Okay, so let us dive a little bit deep into this thing. Next that I want you to do is housing.info. Let's see what this thing does. Okay, so we have something complicated here. What do we have here? We can see, let's see that what we can understand from this very first look. We can see that this hash is the index. Okay, columns is the number of columns, and it is named also. Okay, so what is this not null? Next column is like not null count. What is this not null count? Okay, not null means the values that are present. That means that are not null. If the values are null, then the value is missing. If the value is missing, then we have a problem. And we will be dealing with that problem in a very later stage. So I want to draw your attention very closely to this particularly not null count column. You can see the not null count column has a value of 220,000. It says that longitude has 20,640 not null values. Remember that previously in the shape we saw that we have 20,640 rows. So all the 20,640 rows are not null. That is the all the 20,640 rows longitude data is present. Similarly for latitude, housing age, total rooms, total bedrooms. Oh, total bedrooms. Okay, we have a different number here. We are still looking at like, okay, 20,443 not null values. Okay, but what about the other values? What about the all the other values around 200 around 200 values? What about those values? What happened to those values? Those values are, as it says, null values. Money or it is missing. The values are not present in the dataset. We will dive deeper into this as we go, but first look at the dataset so you have an understanding that okay, we have a variable, we have a feature that is known as total bedrooms, which contains null values. Null values is one thing that a machine learning model never likes. It's like serving up that you are going to a restaurant and somebody served you an empty plate. You won't like it, right? That's how the model feels about null values. It does not like it. So all the others columns we can see that they are completely not null. So every data point is present except this total bedroom. Some of the data in total bedrooms is not present. Okay, next column, d type. D type is data type, simple data type. Okay, just look at it. Float 64, float 64. Okay, let me just draw your attention to the very last column. It is said the data type is like object. What is object? It seems odd, right? Why object? Now I want to draw your attention to the dataset. Can you see, J, the entire dataset contains numbers except this value ocean proximity. It contains some kind of string values like near bay, near bay. What is near bay? So you understand this is not some kind of integer. If it was an integer or it was a float, it would have written that the d type would have been float. But it is not a float value. Okay, so object. We need to understand what is this ocean proximity. So let's dig deep into this ocean proximity. What is this ocean proximity? Let's see. How do we select ocean proximity? So housing has all the data values. So if we want to select that particular column, we have to start a square brackets and we have to name ocean proximity. And this is why I love Colab because it gives suggestions. So we have got our ocean proximity column, and if you want to prove, you can look at it. Okay, we have got only the ocean proximity values. Okay, so let me just now, if you want to look at it in a very close way, I would say use this function in this is present in pandas that is known as values no, sorry, value counts. Okay, what does this thing do? Let's see. Okay, we have got some information here. We can see ocean, then we have a number, inland, then we have a number, near ocean, then we have a number, near bay, then we have a number, island, then we have a number. Okay, what is this thing? So this thing, as we can understand, is what is known as categorical values. Categorical values mean these values are not not integer or float. These are some kind of string values, some kind of category. They are denoting some kind of category. And this number 9136 is the number of times this particular category is present into the data set. Let me repeat this once more. This this particular number is the number of times this ocean category is present inside the data set. If you add all of these together, you will get 20,640. I would like you to do that thing and add up all those values and look and confirm that if that this total is 20,640 or not. Okay. So we are starting to gain a little bit insight about our data set. At each level, we are actually understanding how to explore. Okay, at each level, we are understanding the how we can work on this, and the collective memory of everything we will be using later. As we go, we will be using that collective memory. So let's see what people do. These are some handy functions that you can just use right away when you get your dataset, and it will give you a ton of information about your dataset. But you have to know that how to get that. You have to how to interpret the dataset, how to interpret that particular output that is that you have going to get. So next we are going to do housing.describe. Let's see what it does. Okay. Okay, so it gave us some kind of a matrix. What is this thing? Let's see. So we have all the columns. Okay, I understand that. And we have rows which are named as count, mean, stand, STD, mean 25%, 50%, 75%, max. Okay, what are these things? Actually, let's look at the first row, count. We are saying that every value is like 260, 640. Okay, these things ring some bells. We have 2000, 20,640 data points. So the count must be the number of data present inside the longitude. Okay, so if that logic is right, then the total bedrooms, you remember the total bedrooms had some of the missing values. So let's look at the total bedrooms. Can we find it? Oh yeah, look at it. We have less data. So count is indeed the number of data points that is present under each column. Okay, let's look at it. Mean. I guess everybody in this world knows what is a mean. Mean is mean. I don't think that I need to explain what is mean. Standard deviation. Many people have a little bit of problem with understanding standard deviation. We will be talking about standard deviation in a great way, but still, I would like to tell you something about it right now. Standard deviation is a measure of how dispersed the values are. This is the most simplest definition in layman's terms. Standard deviation is the measure how much the values are dispersed. Okay, if you want, I would like you to go through this standard deviation once after this session, so that you can get a clear picture of. And of course, I will be talking about standard deviation in a great way when we will be at the end of this project, because we need this thing. Mean. So mean is a minimum value. So under this 20,640 points, what is the minimum value of that particular column? So this gives that value. 25. Many of you have learned, I guess everybody has learned in class 12th or 11th about 25 percentiles. Okay. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, or 25 percentile, 50 percentile, 75 percentile. I'm assuming that you people have forgotten some of those things. So let me just redefine it for you in a very easy term, layman's term, so that you can understand. So 25 percentile. So what this percentile means? Percentile indicates the value below which a given percentage of observation in a group or observation falls. For example, 25 percentage of the value, let us look at some values. Okay, let us look at this median age. 25 percentile of a median age is 80. It that means that there are 25% of the districts, or the 25% of the houses, 25 in the 25% of the houses, the median age is below or less than equals to 80. Similarly, for 50, it is less than equals to 29, and for 75, it is less than equals to 37. Okay. So this is the basic understanding of the terminologies that you should understand. So as we can see that as we go, we are understanding a lot about the data set. What are the things that we are interested? So uh, let me just recollect everything that we have learned till now. So we have looked into the data set. We have found there are 20,640 rows and 10 columns. Okay. We see that there is one column named total bedrooms, which has some null values. Okay. Third point. We look at we found the ocean, the column named ocean proximity contains categorical values. No, not any kind of integer or float values or double values. Contains a categorical value. Okay. Then we find a lot of things from this particular table about the mean, standard deviation, mean, 25 percentile, 75 percentile, and the max of everything. Many people don't like to do this particular kind of they don't want to do this mathematical stuff with while doing machine learning, but I would say it is very important for you to understand every bit of the maths that is behind the every machine learning things that you are doing. As you can see that there is very less code that I have written. I have written only hardly I have written only 4 cells, and I'm just talking about these forces for a very long time, right? So this is the factor that you need to consider in your mind, when you are going through machine learning projects or some kind of, it is very important for you to understand the uh, how things are done, because as we go I will prove to you why you should not trust code or somebody else's code, how it can betray you at the point of your at some point of in your life. But if the knowledge stays with you now, then you can just understand it and recreate it. Okay. So we will be talking about more about these things. We will be looking at the data set in a more depth manner, and the next class I guess it's a visualization class, and we will start visualizing the data and we will see some colorful charts, and that is where the real fun begins. Okay, so it's time, I guess. My 1 hour is over. My 1 hour is over, I guess. Anybody has any kind of questions regarding today's session? Just ask me that if you have anything else to ask. Another thing is that sometimes you may feel I am going a little bit fast. So if you want me to slow down, please say. Please tell me, because I am not a mind reader. I cannot understand what you are thinking right now. So you need to say that I need to go slow, then I will go slow, because I will be taking these sessions at a particular pace. So if you want me to slow down at some point, or you want me to repeat that thing, just tell me. The main point of having a live session, I'm repeating this way more times, but still, the main point of having a live session that you can clear your doubts right away. Okay, so there are some important things that I need to tell you. I'll be creating a WhatsApp group, and I'll be sharing my code as well as the data set there, and all the updates will be there. You can ask any question at any point of time. Another thing that I want you to do, if you can look at my code, I am not writing any kind of comments. Okay, I want you to copy my code exactly, word to word, exactly word to word, and I want you to write a comment. I want you to write a comment on each cell. I want to write a comment on each cell, that what that particular cell does. That's all. If you do this, at the end of the session, you will have 100% guarantee. I can give you 100% guarantee that you will have a great understanding of machine learning projects, and I can also guarantee you that any regression problem in this world, you can solve it. Hands down, you can solve it, but you need to do some efforts from your part. So at each cell, you need to write those comments that what this particular cell does. Okay, so any questions? Okay, I guess you people don't have any kind of questions. Still, if you want to ask any kind of things, you can ask that in the WhatsApp group anytime. I'll be answering as soon as possible. And another thing is that from the next day, I would like you to code along with me. Okay, you need to code along with me, because after a while, after 2 3 4 sessions, you will the code will the length of the code will drastically increase, and you won't be able to cope up with that. So just code with me, so you will have a good understanding. So, and if you see some errors, I can directly solve them. So that's all. My I think it's my hour is over. So Alicia D, can you take it from here?
Yes, thank you so much, Siddharth, for all your concepts, and you have made it so clear. And I hope you all understood, if not like 100%, maybe 95%. And he will obviously guide you in the WhatsApp group. Siddharth, can you drop the link, invitation link in the chat section?
Yeah,
Make
of
sure
course.
to join it, okay? And we are actually hoping you to stay committed, so we can benefit, at least you guys can benefit from this 15 days long session. And from the next day we will code along. So I hope you understood everything, most of the things. So if you have got any questions, and don't feel shy, we all make mistakes, and mistakes are the only things which we can learn from. So stay active in the group, and he will be leaving the invitation link soon. And if you have any query, you can just text me, or Siddharth will be available at any time. So you
So
can join.
I've provided
Yes.
the WhatsApp link.
Please join, and I'll wait for 5 minutes.
I just want you to I want to say, Jay, if you just at least stay committed for this 15 days. At the end of the 15 days, I can guarantee you that you will have the great understanding of the regression problems. You will learn more than you need. I can assure you that. And after this, you can just look up any kind of regression problem, and I can guarantee you that you will understand everything that they are saying. Many people think that this is a very tough genre to be in. At some point, it is a tough genre to be in, but you just need to stay committed for a little while, and that's where the magic begins. Just stay with me for a little bit of time, and you will start feeling the magic of machine learning running through your blood vessels and all. So I would like you to stay committed with all of them. Yeah, I guess the
Okay.
session is recorded.
Yes, each session will be recorded and it will be available in our YouTube, DSCTIB. It is the name of a channel. And make sure that you interact and don't be absent. So I guess this is it. And please read all the terms that Siddharth had spoken about: regressions, supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement learning, and all these terms, classification, regression. So just read the definition, you'll get the idea, and by the time you will know how the code and the maths behind it will, like, it works. Okay, so just keep on reading and stay active. We will share all the resources, codes, and data sets. So I hope you understood, and today's session was successful. See you all guys tomorrow, and thank you for being here again. Bye.